to another live episode of IET with Mike C. And man, as usual, I am so glad to be with you here again today. Now, look, I know today was not supposed to be a live program. Today was supposed to be the launching of our vlog. Today we were supposed to launch IET with Mike C. I had a bunch of people that were going to come on to acknowledge the launch. We had two presidents of different branches of the NAACP, different cities across the country were going to come on. Betty Williams and Anita Royston. We had Amar Khalil. Amar and I are still going to do something probably Wednesday. We'll record something. Dave, I keep trying to say Dave Tolliver, and I was starting to say Dave Hollister. Dave Tolliver will be coming up. We got some other people that are going to come on to acknowledge the launching of the vlog. But I could not, in good conscience, do it today. I couldn't do a launch. A launch to me is a celebration. And this is not a time for me personally, anyhow, to be celebrating. As long as we are still dealing with 3 police officers who stood by and watched a man choke to death, walking free, I couldn't do it today. Now, we're not going to continue to go live every day, but I had to today just so I could share with you why we're not doing the launch today. And once again, once we do the launch, the show will be aired once a week. It'll be uploaded on YouTube on Sundays, ready for your viewing on Monday. You'll probably be able to view it Sunday if you want to. That reminds me, if you haven't, please subscribe. If you're viewing us on Facebook, when you get a chance, once the vlog is over today, go over to YouTube. Put in a search in YouTube for IET with Mike C and subscribe. Do that for us, please. Also, if you have comments, we're looking for comments today. Got one already, actually. G Money, thanks for being there again. Look, I told y'all I got friends. I told y'all I've had most of my friends that I've had for 20 or better years. And we support one another. That's my boy. I don't think he has missed a live show, so I appreciate you, G. But again, the reason why we are not doing the launch today is with everything that's going on in our country right now, out of good conscience, I could not do it. So I hope that you continue to join us. I hope you tell somebody about us and continue to come back. We still are dealing with COVID-19. I've seen a lot of protesters who are wearing masks. They might not be 6 feet apart, all of them, but they're wearing masks. I've seen some that are not wearing masks. So again, I want to encourage everyone, whether you're a protester, whether you're off at home, whether you're working from home. Of course, I don't expect you to wear a mask when you're at home. But when you leave your house, and let me say this about the mask. I walk. Now, I haven't walked as much since I've been going live because I've been focused on this. But starting again tomorrow, I'm going to go back to my walking. When I walk, I don't wear a mask. I have one with me, but I don't wear it because there's no one coming close to me. Most of the time, I've had one incident, but most of the time, there's no one within 30 or 40 feet of me because people weren't outside. But when I go to the grocery store, I always have a mask with me so that if I'm going to be in an area that it's going to be difficult to keep that 6-foot distance or better, and actually I try to keep 10 feet, then I have my mask and I'll put my mask on. So I want to encourage you, this virus has not gone away. People are still dying in this country. We still have over 100,000 deaths in America alone from COVID-19. So please continue to be safe rather than sorry. Especially you college and high school athletes. You guys are getting ready to go back to your sports. You're starting to participate in practice, in training sessions. Please, guys, take a mask with you. Wear a mask. You know, you're young, so you figure that this virus is not going to hurt you. It might not kill you, but I don't know if you've seen the suffering that people go through. And not everybody, I know that. But do you want to risk being part of the ones that could either pass away or that could suffer, not being able to breathe, not having any taste, just suffer? Do you want to do that? And do you want to pass it on to maybe one of your parents or one of your siblings? And I'm not trying to scare anybody. What I'm saying is truth. So please be safe rather than sorry. We want to see you achieve the highest level of athletic ability that you can. We enjoy watching that. So please be safe rather than sorry. Because this was going to be the launch today, won't be too long of a show, and I know I've said that before, but that's my goal, is to not, most of our shows have gone 30 minutes. We probably won't do that today, but I do have some things that I think are very important that I want to share with you. One of the things is media. I said yesterday, when I was in the music business, when I was managing, I recognized that the media was not my friend. Wasn't necessarily my enemy, but wasn't my friend. And here's what I mean by that. Media establishments in this country are big business. And I know that big business definitely is not my friend. Might be the friend of the politician, but not a friend of mine. But again, they're not my enemy. They have an agenda, and you have to understand what their agenda is. And right now, I'm really speaking to those that are protesting. Understand that they're not your friend. They're not your enemy. They have an agenda, but so do you. And if you can work with them in coordination with your agenda and their agenda, then you can get some things done. You can get proper coverage. Why am I bringing this up? Because something that bothered me yesterday in watching the different networks, something that bothered me is the direction that the media is taking this thing. Everybody knows that there is looting going on. Everybody knows that there is rioting going on. And I do not condone that. And I believe that most protesters do not condone that as well. Let me hit on this point first. I heard a guy, last name was O'Brien. I don't recall what his title or position is. And he made a statement. He said, 99% of police officers are good. I know I commented on that yesterday, but I got to comment again because I just feel it is important enough to mention it again today. I don't know where he's living. I know 99%. I don't know very many things of anything that 99%. Do I think that 99% of the protesters are good? Do I think that 99% of my friends are, well, I don't want to get into that. To say that 99% of police officers are good, I'm going to tell you why that's a bad statement. Because what it does is, in a sense, it belittles what's going on. In a sense, what it does, what he was trying to do is basically not acknowledge what's going on. If you're going to tell me that 99% of police officers are good, then what you're telling me in essence is that we're exaggerating the offenses that have taken place. And again, I'm not saying that all officers are bad. I do believe that most are good. I can tell you this, and I'm not sure if I mentioned this yesterday. I think it depends on where they're at. There are certain areas and communities in Sacramento, where I'm from, where police officers in that community have a reputation for not being good. Okay? They have a reputation for not being good. And it's nowhere near 99% good. Matter of fact, I would say in certain communities, maybe 70% are good. Okay? So let's not belittle what's going on with that. again, the rioting and the looting, it's not right. I don't condone it. And I think that everybody who is a part of the rioting, everybody who's a part of the looting should be held accountable. But understand this, and the media mentioned this a little bit. Understand this, there are outside agitators. Look, this is a war. COVID-19 is a war, and what's going on with the systemic injustice in our judicial system in this country is a war, okay? And I'm not just the only one saying that. People who don't think that there is an issue, don't think there is a problem, who don't think that there is systemic injustice within our police departments, within our judicial system, they are a problem. They're a problem. Systemic racism exists in this country. And that's why you have situations like George Floyd, like Ahmaud Arbery, I think it is. Excuse me if I'm wrong there. Like Breonna Taylor, Trayvon Martin. I mean, the names go on and on and on. I was looking online. I was trying to get the names because I didn't want to leave anyone out. And I couldn't get the names of I pulled up something that gave all of the names of African Americans killed by police in 2015, but nothing after that. If I look a little deeper, I'm sure I'll find it. But here's what bothered me when I found that. Okay, things like this. No officer charged with a crime for killing Keith. No officer has been charged with a crime for killing Betty. No officer have been charged with a crime for killing, that's another Kevin. No officer have been charged with a crime for killing Michael. No officer have been charged with a crime for killing Leroy. No officer have been charged with a crime for killing Roy. No officer have been charged with a crime for killing Miguel. No officer have been charged with a crime for killing Nathan. No officer has been charged for killing Kevin Campbell. Goes on and on and on. I did not see one situation in 2015 where an officer was charged for the killing of all of these people. Not even charged with a misdemeanor. No charges. No charges. That's why people continue to march right now. That's why people are angry, because the perception is that even though this guy was charged with the murder of George Floyd, people aren't happy because of the level of degree in which he's charged, third-degree murder, manslaughter. And the reason why people aren't happy with that is because those crimes can be bartered down. Bartered down. I did read something where a guy was charged with manslaughter. He was charged with manslaughter for killing an African American. You know how much time he got? 3 months. 3 months. If you're not understanding of the frustration, if you're not understanding of the dismay, if you're not understanding of the fact that African Americans have no whatsoever no faith in the American judicial system. If you don't understand that, then you're blind to what's going on in this country. We have no reason to trust the American judicial system. It's not just the police officers. It's the judges. It's the lawyers, primarily the district attorney, but also even public defenders. Public defenders do not always do a just job in defending African Americans. I've talked to people, I know that this goes on too. It's the entire judicial system. But guess what? It's not just the judicial system. It's corporate America. It's the American system. Because you don't see it, just like you don't see COVID-19, you don't understand the devastation that it could cause you and your loved ones. You don't fear it. Because you don't see what goes on in the judicial system in America, you don't believe that it happens. You don't believe that it's as bad as it is. I'm here to tell you it is. So to the media, as I was saying earlier, I have become disturbed yesterday with the coverage, the direction of the coverage, and I'm going to call somebody out in particular, Channel 13. They're doing an entire show on the looting and the rioting. Why don't you do an entire show on what happened to George Floyd? Why don't you do an entire show, Channel 3, on the injustice that exists within our judicial system? Why don't you do an entire show on that? It's reasons like that that people don't trust the media either. I don't. It's not to say that there aren't good people within the media, but when you're doing stuff like that, I don't. And like I told you before, I remember when we had the Atlanta child killings back in the day. I believe it was in the 80s. And that was not covered in Sacramento until there was a black suspect. That's when they started covering it. So to the media, be just. Be just. I'm going to hold up to my word today. I said that today was not going to be a long show, so it's not. I want to speak directly to the protesters. First thing I want to tell you is, if you are protesting, I want you to know that I am particularly proud of you. I'm very proud of our young men and women, and that's predominantly who it is, young men and women who are protesting. I want to share something with you. When you think about Martin Luther King, do you think about the fact that the majority of the time that he was involved with fighting for justice, he was under 30 years of age? He was the age that probably most of you are. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of something else too. I'm proud that you truly do represent the great country that America is. You do that with the fact that most of the coverage that I have seen in protesters is they are multicultural. Although the bulk of the injustice that is happening happens to African Americans, there are white folks out there marching, protesting. There are Latinos out there marching, protesting. There are Asians, Native Americans. And guess what, y'all? It's starting to spread across the world now. They're starting to protest the killing of George Floyd in Europe. That wouldn't happen if you weren't out doing what you do. So continue to make us proud. I'm proud of the resilience that you have exhibited. This is 7 days in a row that you are out in numbers saying that we are not going to back down, that we demand justice. I'm proud of you for that. And I'm proud that the bulk of you, the majority of you, are nonviolent. I'm proud of that. The majority of you are nonviolent. We know that there are agitators who are trying to stir the pot, who are trying to taint everything that you're doing. And guess what? Most police departments are aware of that and are attempting to do something about it, especially New York City Police Department. I commend them on that. So continue to stand strong. Continue to stand together. Continue to be resilient. Continue to be nonviolent. Thank you. Thank you for what you do. I support you. I'm not out marching, but I support you. And let me ask you, please, put on a mask. Put on a mask. As most of you I have seen are doing so. Put on a mask. And when you see wrong, look, there could have been a tremendous travesty yesterday. You had a trucker driving in a very close proximity of protesters at 70 miles an hour. 70 miles an hour. Do you know how long it takes a semi truck to stop once the brakes are hit at 70 miles an hour? If I remember correctly, it's something like 3 football fields. Someone said it could have been a dozen people could have killed. It could have been hundreds. A truck at that speed, it could have been hundreds. And I was proud of you in another way. The governor of Minnesota pointed this out. He said that the trucker mentioned it himself, that when he came to a stop and the protesters jumped on the truck, kicking the windows in, opened the doors, he said that there were protesters protecting the driver because that would have taken away from your cause too. What you did was what you've been doing from day one with your march. In marching, you're doing the right thing and protecting that idiot driver who needs to be persecuted, prosecuted, persecuted. You did the right thing again. That says something about your character. That's what the news media should be reporting on. That's what Channel 13 should be doing a story on. The character of the people that are marching. And that would be an exhibition of your character, Channel 3, which I question right now. So, thank you guys for doing the right thing. Thank you for watching IET with Mike C. And once again, this is not designed to be a political vlog, and it's still not a political vlog, but how could we live with everything that's going on around us today and not talk about it? That's been the problem that has gotten us in a large degree to where we're at, is it hasn't been talked about. It hasn't been talked about in the proper context. It hasn't been talked about in truth. Let's talk about it. So that's why I've been doing this the past, 5, 6 days? It's because we have to talk about it. I had to talk about it. But when we launch, we will come back with, look, and actually it is partially within the context of the vlog, because what we're talking about is information. We're sharing information. We may come on, some of the vlogs might be dealing primarily with just music. We may have a musical guest come on, like Amar Khalil is going to come on, and the whole program might be taken up with music industry stuff. Listening to that brother sing like he does, listening to Dave Hollister. I mean, there I go again, Dave Tolliver. That boy can blow. Listening to Brother Rap come on and do his thing. Rapping just hip hop skills. Or it may be something that we need to clarify. And we may need to give you some understanding and clarity from a biblical perspective. We may have a whole show taken up about that. But thank you again for watching. Please, please give us a thumbs up, like, comment. We do have another comment, okay. Thank you. Comment, and most importantly, subscribe. And next, most importantly, tell somebody about the vlog. Bring your friends. I had look, I was going to go back to my high school. I was going to talk to you again about my high school. How much time we got? Nah, I'll do it tomorrow. Well, I'm not. I'll do it on the vlog. The first vlog, I'll talk about it, because the community that I grew up in, so much I'm reminded of with what's going on, with the protesters, with people who are just good-hearted people. So I'll talk about that at another time. Thank you for joining us. Like, comment, subscribe, and come back. Again, if you're on Facebook, go over to YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. Y'all have a wonderful day. God bless you and yours. Yeah.